Start recording. Start streaming. 10:13 in the morning, 31st of December 2025. New Year's Eve. I slept a bit. I have earplugs in and woke up to a raging motorcycle sound. And then someone burning something, but that stopped. And then sirens that didn't go up the street. Like, it is very, like, someone wanted you to wake up. It's fucked up. Um, this is taking forever. Like, longer than forever. Longer than normal. I guess this one's almost done. It's been hours to upload that video. I'm really fucking hungry. It feels incredibly stupid. I have a thing of rice, but the rice seemed bad when I bought it. And that was months ago. And I just haven't figured out what to do with the rice that, like, is bad. It's got, like, gray spots in it. If I just eat a little bit of it, would it make you sick? Yeah, like dark. And yeah, it's from, if it was bad when I bought it, it said at Best Buy 2029. It's not the first time I've gotten bad. I have a whole thing of like my favorite olives stuffed with garlic and jalapeno. They were bad when I bought it, and it just sits over there. I would have to like drop one at a time into the toilet or something and flush it. Like, or chop them up and flush them down the toilet. There's no way to like. I mean, obviously, it's not worth getting sick. Just wait. Um, yeah, the. Why don't you just leave your room? And at least. I can't. I don't know why. It's like this ongoing joke. Sent on the 23rd. The 29th. This long ass email that said, I think, everything I needed to say. And then sending a letter to the manager claims she's being harassed. Can you check the cameras? Like, as if they needed a direct request from them. Yeah, it's fucked up because they sent me this bogus response to this letter of accommodation. Sent. Where they went out of their way to send me a message that was like, oh, we just do this. No, you don't even, like, it's just what we do. No, it's not. I've sent like 100 emails asking you to check the camera. I mean, it's like I must be kidding myself to even ask for help at this point, right? And the story that goes through my head is like someone is setting it up for you to be a victim. And everyone around you is fake. They don't even exist. They made them up. And then you're gonna be a victim to people that aren't even real. And then they get this like shitty story out of it that they wanted. Whoever they are. Like some third party. Yeah, that wants to bitch about what America is or something. I guess it's like, who do you think is the strongest in the country right now? Whatever Trump is. Even though that doesn't morally feel right. Here, this. We routinely monitor the cameras. And then... Oh, I've sent hundreds of emails that they never responded to. Like... Are you not getting my email? Is the, like, only other possible... And, I mean, at this point, you would realize that, oh, we're not getting her emails. I mean, even within this one. So they specifically asked the manager to check. And then I resend specific requests that I know must be, like, clearly on camera. I think she ripped stuff off my door and shit. And then I was getting this thing. Yeah, it's, I can't breathe in my unit. Someone's like, you must be able to see them. There's a camera that points outside. You must at least see somebody passing the building at the same time. Like some indication of like, yeah, there's someone like, or can you see somebody going down into the tunnel? That there's access in the building to go down into this tunnel. Which no one should have. It's locked. Like maintenance might have the key. That's it. So, to see something happening around the same time. And yeah, if you got hit with this kind of like, it triggers something in you physically. Like, your body says, oh no, I'm going to die. It isn't about having like a calm response. And then last night I sent another message. I don't know if you like, I have a recording of them from in the unit. It's just like you have two cameras in the hallway where I live. Like, you're gonna have a better view of them fucking with my room. And then this morning, I get it's like addressed to the other person, like they're talking around me. Are you not talking to me? You can't just be like fickle about somebody's fucking like living situation. And it's like, don't even be mad. This feels so set up. I've said it before, almost like they could have made up this person. Because no one even emailed me for months from this email address. For months. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's a convenient. Yeah, specifically from that. Hold on, I have to like do some funny. I guess that is it. So microphone. So, they've changed who works in the building 100,000 times, and you have to give people personal information. Like, that is something to talk about in terms of, like, low-income housing and, that would be, like, everybody's problem no matter where the fuck you lived. I've only lived in 2 buildings outside of school. There's always a manager, and they have to get paperwork from you, and then that manager can change, and like that's how apartment buildings are, I think. Were the idea that someone wanted to ruin what an apartment building is. And yeah, this was a different person back in January. And so it's actually like January 22nd. And then that's when someone sent a check for $500, and they used it for late waivers that they should have actually waived, or late fees that they should have waived. It's part of living here. So, I mean, technically they stole someone's money. And even if they didn't waive those late fees, they would have been covered by the HRSN thing. So, I mean, I should have like a $500 credit. Pretty much. They just took their money. And now they're expecting the same, like, if somebody sent me money for rent, they needed to send it directly to them. So this is getting like really scary. And yeah, so January 22nd until December 17th. And then it's a new person. December 15th. So from January 22nd till December 15th, there was nothing. There was no responses to emails. There was no... nothing. Yeah, this makes it confusing. And I mean, they must realize that I have to explain this to somebody. What the fuck are you doing? And then that's where my brain starts to turn into like, they're making you a victim and setting up characters around you and like forcing like a fake story with those characters. Pretty much. Um, and what, at the end of the day, I'm going to say, God bless America because somebody's going to show up and like help you and never let them get away with hurting you or some crap. Is that it? I mean, it's like it's already scripted somewhere what will happen. Yeah, was my school not more or less patriotic? I mean, we did the school pledge and the Pledge of Allegiance every single day. Well, shouldn't my school be more powerful than fucking anybody's shit? Whether they liked me or not is part of the issue. Because I'm an atheist. That was a problem. I was encouraged to be Jewish. House parents said to me, one specific set. I've had 4 different sets of house parents. But one said I could at least be Jewish. They're the chosen people. They get second chances, which sounds like scary as fuck. Yeah, in its own way. Um, but like some kind of like at least you're religious, and then everybody can be like religious together. They can't. They would not. I mean, I have this entire fucking like thing about them trying to take my email away because it wasn't supporting the belief in God. Apparently, the pastor, this specific pastor, is gone now. They retired and like, I just found out like yesterday. Randomly looking stuff up on the internet, that they retired. There's a new pastor at the school now. It kind of looks like it's the same stuff. It's not like. Well, when I first started, there was somebody named Shepler. And they were doing like a Buddhist prayer bowl. And like that was the last time I remember them working there. After that, they were gone, and we got this pastor instead. And then they're documented through Penn Live, like forever, for saying shit about going to the devil and all this other awful crap. Well, this is, yeah, a matter of public record. It's not, I'm not, I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, why would you make me not talk about it ever? Like, this is there forever. And I mean, it sets the tone that was like very much how it felt when I was there. I don't know if it's different, but it kind of doesn't look different. They still do the passion play. I don't see any menorahs or Kwanzaa or I don't know what the holy days in the Muslim tradition. Somebody did Ramadan before, but there's not like a. It should have been at least like universalist. Just, I mean, kind of like the way Shepler was. trying to be when I first started in 5th grade. This is the new guy. That's not a picture of him, I don't think. That doesn't look at all like the guy on the internet they said was the new... What the fuck is that? I mean, this is my childhood. It's like, this is where I grew up. This was where I grew. Like, you can't just delete somebody's life because it doesn't tell the story you wanted to tell. This is weird. Yeah, that person looks young. Well, the image I saw was like an older guy with a white beard. Well, white and gray. Yeah, I saw this. That's how I was like, it looks like they do the same things. Yeah, a younger person was always like, when I got my second set of house parents and they were younger, it was like, oh, cool, like you're gonna be more with it. That's, just how kids think. Um, it was definitely a picture of an older guy. So that's super confusing. I don't know. Well, whatever. Either way, it's kind of still seems like the same stuff either way. Like, um, I'm not gonna go sit through a chapel service ever again. Like, it would have, yeah, if you had a role to play in this universe, it would have been like, there used to be, um, like a, oh, what was it called? It wasn't just like Sunday school. It was, and it was just for the little kids, like kindergarten through, I don't know, 4th grade even or something. And they would leave. Like there'd be a moment where they get up and they leave to go to this like Sunday school thing that's more for like little kids. I never went to it. But if they had that for like the atheist kids and we would watch Star Trek in the Twilight Zone or something, like that, they would never let me do that. So siren sounds. Oh, that's nice. They picked this quote, even though the deed of trust itself says no sect or creed would be shown favoritism, which I know all too well because I did the fucking research project myself. They did, yeah. Some who would pay for you to be trapped in a story so that it comes out one way or another, like. And to the same people have their fucking hands around your neck that have always had their hands around your neck. And you're some investment that just isn't paying off. Like, physical or emotional harm. I mean, this entire society is a nightmare, so. Right, exact. Like the idea of Matilda versus Trump. It's an already written script, and they already know who the good guy is and the bad guy, and I'm Matilda and you're Trump. And there's a million Matildas. Yeah, exactly. They should have the 30 universal human rights on the fucking wall. Like, I had to memorize it on my own. In every student home, they have the Ten Commandments on the wall. There is something called humanistic Judaism, but I mean, that's still like. Well, I kind of like it because I don't have to, like. But I mean, what about everything else that you are? It still doesn't really. It's like cutting me into little pieces and saying, like. I mean, you don't know anything about indigenous Irish or Italian or even like the Levant, right? I mean, and isn't it strange that they separate like it's not the same side of the family? Uh, Everybody would go back down through Africa if you could get a complete picture of all DNA, because that's the route of the haplogroups. It's everyone starts open image in L1, then you split, and then you split, and then you split a lot, and then you split some more, and that's how we get these haplogroups. Um, at least as far as science understands today. And they can like how recent somebody was something. But yeah, so you're Jewish and English and Italian and Irish and Scottish and Anatolian and Cypriot and a Coptic Egyptian and Austrian Southern German and Welsh. Like, at least a little bit. Yeah, to different amounts. I mean, motorcycle sound. So it feels really strange that you'd, like, oh, just care about this part. Half of me. I mean, for this stuff, it's like you're American. And there's just not. They don't. They're not gonna just call you American. I mean, yeah. Are people hurting me because I'm related to the fucking Brewsters? That's oh yeah. What I am trying to like, it's really hard to explain this because it seems insane. Like I am both Jewish and related to like the people from fucking Plymouth Rock. Somewhere between those two things, somebody's like, and I grew up at a school for poor kids where I did chores and like wanted to be punk. I mean, yeah, I'm an emo kid, non-conforming as can be. You'd be non-conforming too if you were. That song actually is really mean, but yeah, two different DNA tests say kind of the same thing, though it's based on how many people respond and where those people came from is going to shift the data a little bit. Yet more data would have been better for everybody. The more data you have, the more accurate things are. And it should just be like of interest. It's not like, okay, now we know who the Jews are. Really, what you gonna for people that hate Jewish people out of like bigotry and shit, you're just gonna like cut my body in half? And I would never join like a white supremacy boat ever. Right, somebody else would be like, bitch, you're white. That's and like that is all that specific person would care about. Like, and I've had friends, or at least was friendly with people from every background, every religion, every walk of life. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's like you're trying to make me feel like people would hate me that didn't hate me before. I mean, what is a fact of the matter? Well, I mean, I have thought you could maybe be stuck in something where no matter, like, it's almost like an algorithm of oppression. And if I had been South American, somehow I would have gotten news primarily about these wars. If I had been African, I would have gotten news about these. If I had been um, Taiwanese or Chinese or um, from Myanmar or even like India, Pakistan, you would have gotten like you got news and information about wars from places you were like from where there was some kind of stake. I mean, like first there was COVID. And the possible complete undercount of the death toll here. So who knows how many people are really like on the planet. And then there were the protests in Portland that like, felt extremely undeniably personal. I didn't go outside, but like It was about police brutality, and then the police were brutal. So there's no one to call for help. It's like the military, fire department, police, they're all like linked together somehow. And what background are they supposed to be? You know, like they would get somebody from every fucking background. They're not all white, they're not all black, they're not all Indian, they're not all supremacists, they're not all any, like, are they religious? Someone is pushing some smell into my room. Anyway, so yeah, they gassed whatever the fuck was in Portland. Who knows where the fuck these people are? You got displacement of at least like almost like 30,000 people. That could be an undercount. And then if you compared it to Palestine, it's not to be like, oh, shut up, nothing you ever see is worse than Palestine. It's a parallel. How many people displaced? Oh, and the wildfires, too. I can't breathe in my fucking room. Someone is pumping stuff directly into my goddamn room. Yeah, if anything else, they would love for you to blame some homeless person or appearance of a homeless person that's under your window. So they can clear the area out and make it expensive. Fuck off. Fake ass shit. Like 40,000 people. 10% of the state's population were in an evacuation warning area. And then, yeah, you compare it to Palestine. How many? And it's like, that's how they even told you what they were going to do, by talking about that Trump Gaza shit. Well, when you see stuff as parallels instead of like worse and better, you end up with like a very different understanding. Only my sister's brain would be like, no, come on, they want to gas the Jew. She's psychotic. Get away from me. Fucked up. $1.9 million Palestinians. And then explain the fact that the UN was supporting this. Right, there's never really a ceasefire. It's wait till next time. And they'll do all of this shit again. I spent hours last night trying to think of ways that they could build housing for people. You can't act like I don't care. What the fuck is wrong with you? And it didn't matter whether I was Jewish or anything else to give a shit. And yet this has been the news day after day, weirdly kind of tapered off. But the news day after day for fucking like, I mean, it's been at least 2 years of my life. And we don't talk about Black Lives Matter anymore. At all. Yeah, it terrifies me that somebody's idea was like, well, yeah, again, she doesn't know where the split is for this war that she's in. And some white people decided that they could be friends with Palestinians because black people didn't like them. So, like, in a very overgeneralized, fucked up sense. You know, just as, like, some stupid, like, easy story. And then they're going to go support Palestinian lives instead. Because, especially the descendants of slaves didn't like them. They were never going to like them the way they wanted to be liked. But they can meet on some religious ground with the Palestinians. And then everybody hating Jews together. Because, well, you have to have an enemy, and it can't be black people, because then you're obviously racist. But for some reason, people are, like, cool with hating Jews. Well, because they're also white, I guess, sometimes. They're not always white. Jewish people are just like Christians. They come in, like, every color. You could be any color and be Muslim, too. See, that it gets really, like, the difference, I guess, between the religion of Jewish and the ethnicity of Jewish. Like, well, no one explained this. I as a women in gender studies minor, like, don't even get me started on the idea of owning the fucking feminists. Well, I've barely known any Jewish people my whole life. They were mostly Christian. So yeah, they got together and they were like, we can be friends, or we can exploit these people, or we're gonna sit on the sidelines and wait for everybody to kill themselves, or I don't know what. And yeah, Jewish is not, Israel does not equal Jewish. And then it's like, you made me sit here just to say that over and over again as like a political pawn. That you get enough people that say that Israel has no right, or Jewish people have no right to Israel, a place I've never been. I'm a fucking atheist. And then the idea that the next step is to be like, and then, you know, as this Brewster bitch, you have no right to America, right? Oh my god, that wasn't even the story of, like, the fuck? And why would you drag everything back to 1620, like, all the other centuries didn't happen, slavery and... Yeah, it's just like, who has the right to America? I would never go and say, well, oh, I guess Americans don't actually have a right to America, and fuck over all the people that built America. Yeah, the slaves that built America. Well, I'm scared that they just essentially killed all the black people. When was the last time I saw any that weren't Christian? You know, if you suck God's dick, they let you stick around. But, like, they used Christianity to control people in slavery. So a lot of woke people realized that, like, a long fucking time ago. If the same population was here that was here in 2020, a lot of shit would not be happening. I don't know if they straight up just killed everybody. I feel like I'm being murdered in my own home. What the fuck is? And then I like record it every day, and it. Everything I say is in support of all humanity. You're like deliberately misunderstanding me if you want to pretend it's not. And then, yeah, we're a bunch. It's your sister, and they really needed somebody. You've said it before. Man, did they need somebody that would talk for them and make them look good? Because they don't look good, and they don't know what to say. Kind of suck. I hope this doesn't make me sick. It smells like Play-Doh. A little bit. I mean, what was going on before? No, 2020 COVID, protests, wildfires. 2021 was like, I think, baby formula. So it's like, you want to bitch about Nestle? Um, that was like months of the news. And then, I don't know, stuff felt like a strategy to try to make you like think about being a mother and having a kid and like. Yeah, annoyed in a whole different way. Um, and then October, no, no, no. Then Ukraine and Russia. And I mean, I just try to explain this too. I mean, would you, if you were going to pretend that you had territory somewhere, which itself is like weird to me, no. But if the idea, like where Jewish people should go, should they have just gone to Ukraine? I think it depends on what their own story. I don't fucking know. And then you got me set through, like, there is a percentage here that goes back to. I mean, if you look at the haplogroups, though, everybody passed through fucking Israel and Palestine. If you go back far enough, if you could have the data, everyone. Yeah, I get if there are people that are still in Africa related to people. I mean, and then you remember how they're like starving them. You think that's like on purpose or something? How is it that everyone's starving? And that's the place where like humanity started. But at some point, everybody passes up through here. Yeah, like, how many years ago? What do I need to ask to look that up? When did the L haplogroups become the N haplogroups? diverge. Like 65,000 years ago. Well, it does become that question, like, just how far back do you need to, like, to say what you are? 1720? 65,000 years ago? When? Like, what year was 65,000 years ago? It would be like 63,000 BCE. Or, I guess, according to this. The peopling of Australia. Right, and it's kind of like, who the fuck is asking? Everyone's asking every day. In the way that this is like what is deemed important, newsworthy. Of course, genocide is newsworthy. Like, but it also feels like it's something that's around me even when I don't go outside. Whether someone is Christian or Muslim or Jewish or an atheist or and then white or not white or queer or straight or I mean, this thing I just got a survey. Please fill out our survey for the Snap thing that I just did. Yeah, I get messages from the ACLU. I mean, it's like every day all over the place. You're not paying attention. And maybe it's because you don't care. I care. To not realize it's everything all the time, every day. So yeah, the survey, and it's weird because they ask me the same fucking questions that they asked me on the phone. Hold on. I guess you have to... Phone. Food and Snap. Excellent. 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 And then it opens up demographics. And then it asks me these again. Which are like... It was weird that they asked me on the phone. Because I said in my document, like, I didn't really want to answer them. And then they're asking me again. Like, that someone really wants to put people in a box, figure out what they are or what they identify as. And then I don't know if it's to make you, like, go somewhere. Like, they'll put all the pieces in a place. Almost like somebody who is, like, politically OCD. And everything has... And they thought it would help to put everything in its place. And what it is, it's segregation. And then you're going to have teams and have wars and like, oh my god, fuck that. Like, everybody should be like, fuck that. They're politically OCD. which is way more dangerous than someone who just is OCD. Sometimes this need to make things perfect is part of what an artist became or something. Like, it's not always like an evil thing. Um, but, you know, in this context, you really don't want. And, you know, it does start with COVID. If you like just woke up today, like you were in middle school or younger when this happened, you missed the protests and you missed the news, and like you just started paying attention because you were a kid. It's gonna be like such a totally different story. We never talked about Israel and Palestine when I was a kid. So I feel like I know exactly what that's like. Like, you just woke up one day and suddenly this was all we talk about. And you didn't get scared of the police because you didn't see the years of them killing unarmed people, and you didn't see this happen to your city for 170 days. Like, yeah, you're gonna think different shit probably. Well, somebody had carved a Star of David on the wall in the hallway at some point. Yeah, is that negative or that somebody just they do this to waste people's lives? It's the 21st century, and all the kids like knew better. and they just needed to slow them down and interrupt them and wanted them to feel the same way somebody born in 1950 felt. I'm gonna feel really dumb if this is like perfectly good and tastes fine. I guess at least I had emergency backup food. No, the olives really are, they're like off color, and those are definitely bad. Oh my god, sweetie, if you think I'm talking in metaphors about my food, you have a mental illness. Go see a good therapist. I wish you the best of luck finding one. But, like, you need mental health. Because, no, I am not talking in fucking metaphors with my food. Drove me fucking crazy with the idea. Yeah, you notice none of it was about sending you secret messages. It was always about harassing you. Like, everything is mean. That's not really, like, good information or something. Like... I gotta admit, I'm a little excited. It is New Year's Eve. Why shouldn't there be, like, some semblance of celebration? It's like, no, you're just gonna starve. But go back to that, where is it? The thing with, from Department of Human Services. So yeah, asking demographics, age, disability, what your background is, This is interesting though to see like all the different, like this is like the most updated understanding or something of like what everybody could be. And check all that apply. People are multiple things at the same time and mixed and the guy asked me on the phone if a grandparent was part of a tribe thing, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I never met them. Like my grandfather, and then when I said that, there was like a ding sound. Well, I mean, he could have been part of something even if he's not. Like he was and accepted into some shit, and I didn't know about it. It's possible. And then if my dad was, they didn't tell me. Well, it's not about land rights. It's about, is that like a thing or not? I have no idea. And I'm gonna guess most people don't fucking know their actual full background either. Because they won't do a DNA test. Or can't afford it because this shit was expensive. The only reason I could is because I had a little bit of money for a short amount of time. Yeah, that's also not good. The thought of like people have been escaping from wars. They shouldn't use this for that, but that like I guess in some dystopian, situation, wanting to know so badly whether you were like specifically from Myanmar, for example, or something. Because someone wants to come collect you. That's not good. Yeah, or the same thing with being, does somebody want to fuck with me because I'm Jewish? It's so fucking ridiculous that it's like, I think it's cool to be Jewish, but I like didn't even get to be like in the world of being Jewish at all. I grew up in a Christian community. Like, not Christian either. Right, wouldn't it be ridiculous to put that I'm Turkish? Even if this says like Anatolian. Right, exactly. Speaking of which, are you my Turkish education? I mean, are you kidding me? Come on. Yeah, someone's always been following you. They're not the first Turkish person I've ever like encountered. That's not real, though, right? That's insane. What? Everyone was just friends. It is like in that kind of Star Trek shit. And somebody like taking that away from me, I hate it. Like you're like not letting me just be friends with everybody else.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Assault Biker, this is Dawson. Our broadcast comes to you live from the gloomy ass, but kind of warm California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MPs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Even though we're on stolen land, it's the last day of 2025. We're finally getting the fuck out of this year. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Also, as of tomorrow, we will have a socialist Muslim 34-year-old mayor in New York City. So that's something to look forward to in 2026, and that's obviously what we're going to be doing a lot. But before we get into that, because it's the last day of the year, this is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the world of Hassan Hassan. I've been Piker in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button. So help me God, and that's precisely what I'm gonna do. It's my birthday. Can you give me a shout out? Can you give a shout out to my friends Mystic, Emily, please? Okay, shout out Jay Bateman. Happy birthday, and shout out to your friends Mystic and Emily. That's a terrible birthday, dude. I'm sorry. Being born like literally as the year ends, that's gotta suck. It's Hunter Schafer's birthday too. Oh my god, friend of the show Hunter's birthday is today. I should hit her up. Anyway, Unknown or Bubba gotta bust out the clippers. What's going on with the hair, Unk? Good question, actually. That's a personal news related answer that I have for you, as a matter of fact.
One year ends, one year begins. I mean,
What are you doing? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Anyway, personal news-wise, this is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the world of Hassan Hassan and Abby Piker. And one of the things, I'm in a great mood. I'm in a great mood today. It feels like a Friday. It's not actually a Friday. I'm gonna go, oh, Kaya, you can't lay the Kaya place. That's crazy. That's crazy. She literally sat right next to the chair. She's like, please, I need you to scrunch my tail. I need you to drive over my tail with your 200+ pound body. I need it. Okay. She wants donut. There's no more donut left. So unfortunately for her, it sucks to suck. Anyway, personal news-wise, this is part of the broadcast where I tell you that, right? Last night I ended the broadcast and I had some time to myself, and I started watching Cover Up, the Cy Hirsch story, Seymour Hirsch. For those of you who don't know, the GOAT, the man, the myth, the legend Cy. Shouts out to Noah Cullen, of course, who often works with the GOAT. And in any case, he is. I started watching his documentary, and he's so awesome. I mean, I love him. I have so much respect for him. He is one of the legends. He's one of the greats. He's one of the GOATs. And I highly recommend you guys watch that as well. Lauren Poitras made that documentary called Cover Up. It's on Netflix. And this is a testament to how little Netflix knows me, I think, because that shit wasn't even on my main page. Like, it blows my mind that this Seymour Hersh documentary came out. I knew that it was supposed to come out because Noah was telling me about how he could possibly get Cy on the broadcast. This implies that Cy Hersh knows who I am, by the way, which is pretty fucking cool.
Fine.
Anyway,
Showtime.
but like, the fact that Netflix didn't even promote this to me is crazy. Netflix algo is garbanzo beans, because this is like, there is nothing more in my wheelhouse than a fucking Seymour Hersh documentary made by Lauren Poitras about the My Lai massacre and his like ongoing work. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna do the year in review from this point on as well. But hold on. Anyway, personal news wise, just wanted to say, Laura Poitras, sorry, not Lauren Poitras. Oh, God, I'm so bad with names. Anyway, I started watching it. I didn't finish it yet, but it's fucking awesome. It's awesome.
All right. We'd love to talk about sources. And
Let's put it this way. You'd love to talk.
I also want to say this. My dude, my goat, is still kicking. Like, it's kind of crazy because he is 88 years old, chat. This man is 88 years old and he still has the sauce. Like, think about that. 80 fucking 8 years old and it still has the sauce. And I would go so far as to say he has more sauce than even like Norm does. And Norm's got a lot of sauce too. And Norm is, I think Norm's a little bit younger than he is, but let me see. Norm Finkelstein, Face Finkelstein age. Yeah, Norm is like 72. Norm isn't obviously Norm's in great shape as well, but like, he is dynamic. I cannot believe it. He is so dynamic. The dynamism is off the charts. Dude held up to several hour interviews every day pretty well. Okay, what's really funny about it is that while they're doing the interviews, he's still getting phone calls. He's still literally getting sources reaching out to him, because there's a point in the documentary where they're talking about, and I really appreciated this, because the documentary is obviously about like the importance of good journalism, something that is basically a lost art at this point, and why we still have to have like, you know, stubborn guys who will dig deep and try to find sources and will break stories when the Department of Defense, now the Department of War, is obviously they're trying to do a cover-up. It talks about the banality of massacres in Vietnam. Obviously, that's a huge part of this as well. It talks about the lack of care or consideration for human life in general in the hands of the American military. But one of the best things that I saw in this documentary is the not so subtle connection to the ongoing Holocaust in Gaza. Because there's a point where he's, is this Donziger? No, guys, this is Seymour Hersh. Oh my God, I have such an uneducated audience. Sometimes it blows my fucking mind. Seymour Hersh, American journalist, American investigative reporter. Seymour Hersh, Cy Hersh, remember the guy who fucking broke I mean, Donziger is great too. This is Cy Hersh. He's 88 years old. He is one of the most important American investigative reporters of all time. He still actually has a Substack where he breaks stories. One of his most famous stories that he broke was around the Iran bombing campaign, but even prior to the Iran bombing campaign, one of the stories that he broke was the Russian pipeline explosion. When the mainstream narrative on the Russian pipeline explosion was that Russia might have done it to itself, Cy Hersh dug deep, got his fucking sources, and said, no, that's not the case. But as far as his, what do you call it? But as far as his work goes, yeah, and there are some instances where he's gotten things, you know, not completely correct, and that's fine. But at his peak, he is the guy who broke, very famously, the the My Lai massacre, right? Like, that was his first major story. Anyway, yeah, it's the Laura Poitras doc. Anyway, let's just watch this and all.
Sources.
No, but-
And I'd love.
Aren't some of his sources like actual CIA employees? Yes. He also wrote about the secret Israel nuke program. He's gotten things wrong. Why are you platforming Seymour Hersh? Oh, shut the fuck up.
Not to talk about sources.
Yeah, it's funny. They ask him about the sources in this, and he's like, I can't give you my sources. This is supposed to be something that you find out after I die, and some of my sources are still alive.
People, for a lot of reasons, they talk. They talk to me. People want to talk about stuff they did that was wrong and stupid. All you had to do was just let their voice be the story. There's a history of America that's so hard to write. There was always writing stories that got certain people mad.
This fellow Hirsch is a son of a bitch. He's probably a communist agent.
Sai last week he broke a story about an Army lieutenant who was accused of murdering 109 Vietnamese civilians.
Nobody's willing to say, well, you know, the Army's lying through its teeth.
Sai had some sort of a PR. A lot of people want to talk to him. Sai's report
Yeah, this is out already, and I didn't even fucking know about it. It's been out for a couple days because Netflix didn't show it to me because Netflix's algorithm is ass. Anyway.
was the trigger that set up the ugliest portrayal of a government agency.
Vietnam, Kissinger, Watergate, foreign assassinations, Abu Ghraib. It just
Abu
got
Ghraib,
worse,
too.
worse.
So his career basically follows the evil trajectory of American empire. And basically, like, story after story that he broke going against the grain at a time when the NatSec reporting side was becoming increasingly more servile, increasingly more invested in access reporting, Seymour Hersh was going in the exact opposite direction. And the thing is, obviously, like, there is, you know, he has, like, very reliable sources, but sometimes they do leak him shit that's, like, you know, I think, you know, there's some difference in opinion, let's say, within the CIA, and famously, I think they just give him stuff if they, you know, his buddies give him stuff whenever, you know, they have an issue with whatever the fucking official narrative is or something like that. But regardless, he was incredibly consequential. But what I found to be very cool was that the documentary, in a not so subtle way, ties it all the way back to his ongoing work in Gaza, okay? NatSec means National Security Chatter.
Fuck is this doing in your hands? I don't know how this stuff slipped into your file, but these are all people that I would never mention their names. I can't do it. That would be murderous. Look at this. It's complicated to know who to trust. You know, I barely trust you guys. Time after time, I'm told things that turn out to be right. The power these people have is so immense. They would do anything to stay in power. Any lie, any story, bury anybody. You know too much about what I'm doing, so I'd like to quit. Well, no, let's just quit it.
It looks very good. It's already out. Yeah, it's out. But it's gonna be amazing. I mean, I'm gonna finish it hopefully, eventually. But he is the GOAT. He is the fucking GOAT, and I think it's important to acknowledge the GOATs, especially at a time when new GOATs are coming out of the woodwork, like Nick Shirley. You know, carrying on the tradition of Seymour Hersh by going outside of fucking childcare facilities and demanding to see the children with camera crews and security. You know, who's to say where real investigative journalism is gone? You know? Shit from the butt. Okay, as expected, the ass has fallen out of Nick's reporting. Bonus was backed by local Republicans.
The MAGA.
I know all of that. And I've been there from day one. And once again, I had to tank all the fucking aggro for no goddamn reason because, unfortunately, the stupids are very loud. The stupids are very loud. The stupids are very proud. We'll cover all of that in a little bit, though. I'm also going to be having a conversation with one of these Barstool guys that was also, you know, going tit for tat and the back and forth between me and Nick Shitley. Curious, do you still got cable? No, I don't. Wait, what? Yeah, this 2025 has been obviously the year of vindication, and we'll still talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit as it pertains to today's events, considering it's the last day. Yeah, Jack Mack, that's who I'm going to have on the stream. In any case, where was I? What the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, Zohran Mamdani is going to, Zohran Mamdani is building the Islamic Caliphate in New York. Obviously, we'll be talking about that. But yeah, personal news-wise, I'm in actually a really good mood. And that's partially because I did legs today. I lifted legs today. I can't do too much. I can't put too much weight. And I can't squat yet, but I did some sumo deadlifts. Obviously not a lot of, not a lot of weight, but not a lot of compound exercises, but I did do some legs today and I feel much better. Why does your shirt say Frank? It's actually a Frank Ocean limited edition Frank Ocean.
Again, yeah, I'm for the preservation of history and everything, but if somebody wanted to destroy a painting, I would not cry about this one. I think I hate this painting more than any painting on the planet right now. I just found out it existed like 2 months ago. It encapsulates everything that sucks.
Streamer, I'm guessing you just said you were going to stream less and Weirdos ran with it. At a certain point, you have to understand, my friend, that every single thing that someone says about me at this stage is most likely a lie. Okay? There is no other source of information about Hasanabi related shit that you can get aside from here. It's just
again, someone is blasting my room with pollution.
The dumber people get, the worse the media landscape gets, the more angry people get, and the louder they get, the louder their voices get, and they basically dominate the fucking space, the airspace, the airwaves, with a whole bunch of nonsense. And that's precisely the reason why there is a tremendous amount of lies about everything that I say and do, including that I'm like fucking quitting streaming. This is the dumbest thing of all time. Anyway, but you did say at one point maybe I'll stop streaming altogether in 2026 and went off on that for like a minute. Yeah, I say a bunch of shit. It's not happening. Okay, New Year's Eve, 2025 year in review, 2026 predictions. Local reporters and mainstream news investigate child care fraud allegations and blow it up. Okay. 2025 year of vindication. W's and L's of the year. Okay. Hold on. Let me get that out of here. 2025 year in review with chat votes. Your weekly quitting rants always get clipped now. Something that you have said since you started streaming. Yeah. Who gives a fuck? My point is, if you are, don't get your information from random dumb fucks on the internet. You can just come in here and ask me directly. New Year's resolution of locking the fuck in on the blast off tweet. Yeah. What happened to your ankle? I cranked it. Okay. www.twitch.tv/Hasanabi. Get in now. I rolled it pretty bad. Do we have a blast off meme? May I ask you directly for artistic nudes? No, you may not. does chat not give a fuck about Turkey? I was gonna ask about the Yalova ISIS raids. First of all, no, they do not give a fuck about Turkey. Of course they don't give a fuck about Turkey. What are you talking about? And secondly, very interesting that at a time when Israel and Turkey are beefing, they figure out that there's a ISIS cell, and then they raid it. Good. Erdogan said, "Not on my watch." Did you flash hog in 2025? And if not, will you flash hog in 2026? Yes. Totally. Anyway, do we have a blast off meme or not? I turned your goals and predictions into a website. Oh, thank you. I will do that. Bro, I found the Taiwanese Joe Rogan you mentioned yesterday. No, I know. He's gotten really into China. He's going full-blown pro-China, pro-mainland, pro-PRC. Do we have a blast off meme? Is one of your goals being more parasocial? Yes. It is. Yes, my goal is to be more parasocial this year. I need to lock in. I wasn't parasocial enough. Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing no blast off memes this year. I feel like 2025, last day of 2025, no blast off memes whatsoever. Kind of feels like we're cooked. Okay, I'll use this one then. I'll use something else. Less reliant on chat in 2026. More self-reliance, Jusha style, okay? That's what we're entering. We're entering not our Chinese arc, but we're entering our Marxist-Leninist Jushaist arc. No more Chinese socialism with Chinese characteristics, and more, what is this, meme bracket 2025? Sure, we can do that too. Yeah, more Jusha self-reliance arc. Okay, local reporters at MSM investigate childcare fraud allegations that blow it up. 2025 year of vindication, W's and L's of the year. 2025 year in review with chat votes. New Year's Eve, 2026 predictions. Get in now. Okay. No more getting one guide? Yeah, of course. My entire timeline is Grok undressing women and male streamers. What the fuck are people doing? Oh, is that why you guys are asking me for... Did you see you are nominated for the China Fun Award? Oh, hell yeah. That's one of the greatest awards of all time. That's crazy. I probably didn't win it, but... Is that why people keep asking me for nudes? There's already backlash from the Nick Shitley video with threats, vandalism, and robbery reports from Somali daycares in Minneapolis. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Another thing that I fucking said was going to happen. Again, if you want to know tomorrow's news, come here. If you want to be on the wrong side and not know what's going to happen tomorrow, or not even fully understand what's happening today, go anywhere else. In most places, they will just simply take the opposite position of mine, and it's actually pretty bad, because the opposite position of mine is oftentimes going to be wrong. Yeah, right, but too early, as always. I can't believe there's still motherfuckers doing now you're defending blatant fraud. Actually pathetic little fuck. First of all, I'm bigger. I'm the biggest your mom has ever seen. That's number one. Number two, okay? I'm not defending the fraud. If anything, the fraudulent behavior in this situation is a random YouTuber going up to a bunch of childcare facilities, demanding to see the children, and then not seeing any children, because some of the facilities that he's going to is like outside of business hours and things like that, and then duping a bunch of dumb fucks like yourself into believing that every single childcare facility that is owned and operated by Somalis in Minneapolis is actually fraudulent, and has no children in it whatsoever. Don't worry, by the time the real news gets to you and your side of the fucking internet, you will have moved the goalposts already, and you'll be like, oh, actually, we were talking about how the facilities are in a state of dire disrepair or something like that, okay? Once again, if you want to be wrong all the time, go elsewhere. If you want to know what's going to happen tomorrow or what's happening today, if you want to truly understand it, come here and listen to my words. Do not listen to my words from a negative filter. Try to understand what I'm saying. Okay? There's never been a moment where I haven't said that I've never said that there's no fraud happening in Minneapolis. Of course there's fraud happening in Minneapolis. The investigations first started in 2014 and then continued at separate dates, but the major investigation, the one that actually has finally gotten some convictions, started under the Brandon regime, under the Brandon DOJ. Okay, just so you understand. Not only did it happen, fraud happens all around the country, but specifically in Minneapolis, this fraudulent activity was the product, the arrest that took place and the convictions that came from this fraud investigation was a product of a multi-year cooperative investigation and court process that took place that was extensively covered by mainstream news. It is not anyone else's fault that you are oblivious to this stuff and you only heard about it for the first time through the dumbest way you possibly could. That does not mean that Nick Shitley is actually correct on any of the allegations that he made. Okay? But it doesn't really matter because we are dealing with, unfortunately, a wave of stupids. This is the stupids era, which I will be talking about. 2026 is going to be the year of stupids. Okay? It is what it is. And we have to really reconsider how we will navigate this landscape full of stupids, because this landscape is filled to the brim with stupids. Okay? Unfortunately, it is what it is. This is the reality. This is the makeup of the media landscape. And I will readjust my commentary in an effort to dial in and educate the stupids to the best of my ability.
Hey, show me the kids. Show me your kids. Hey, open up and let me and this elderly man look at all the kids in there. Well, they won't open up and let me see the kids, so they must be committing fraud.
That is pretty much this very viral video, and everybody that watched it for some weird reason, including people who are like somewhat educated, saw that and went, that's good for me. I believe it. That's great journalism. Such fantastic journalism. How incredible. Now, of course, one of my biggest issues, as always, is that I am the #1 tank for all this aggro. Because as soon as I saw the video, I was in a state of disbelief. I could not believe that there were so many fucking people that were looking at basically like a QAnon-style investigation that's not a real investigation at all, and going, well, this is brilliant work. I can't believe how smart this guy is. I can't believe how smart this investigation is. And it blew my fucking mind. And people kept defending it over and over again. I mean, if you... Here, I'll even show you the Jack Mack TikTok that I saw. And I will be talking to Jack Mack in a little bit about that TikTok. But he basically put the timeline battle that took place when, you know, the day after Hassan the Sin Eater Piker. Yeah, no, it's fucking insane. Vaguely reminds me of Pizzagate. Yeah.
Is this weird? This is weird, right?
Congratulations. You made the list of 7 most annoying people on 2025 on Fox. Unfortunately, you have to share your spot with Nick Fuentes. I can't post a link with search for 7 most annoying people on 2025 Fox. Wait, really? I mean, the fact that I have to share it with Nick Fuentes is gross, but if they put me up there, God, who's #1? That's pretty awesome. I mean, I love that Fox News hates me. Remember, I love when my enemies hate me. Okay? These are the 7 most annoying people of the year.
What is not on here? Irish?
20 years ago, The View, the first of the pod people.
Western European.
More poddish people. Podcasts are Nick Fuentes and Twitch anchor, my Hassan Piker show the world, and the users social media. One thing in common, hatred. I love that Fox News is saying we were doing too much hatred. Dog. You're a Fox News commentary person. The fuck do you mean I was doing too much hatred? That's awesome. Also, another testament to the word anti-Semite both being utterly meaningless and destroyed in this circumstance, putting up an actual anti-Semite with someone who combats anti-Semitism with regular frequency, a lot more than fucking Fox News ever has, only to dilute the term anti-Semitism so stupidly that it almost feels as though it is by design. Piker, when he's not being accused of giving his dog electric shock, spends time saying offensive things like America deserved 9/11. He later walked it back because of the backlash, but he still has millions of followers on multiple platforms. Fox News did an analysis of what he says, and it's so vile I don't want to repeat it. He's all across major media. The Times called him a progressive mind and a body made for the manosphere. The press is desperate to recreate their own Joe Rogan. This is the best they got. Hell yeah. My favorite quote of yours is the 9/11 one. Yeah, I know. Convincing your enemies that you are dumb as a rock is OP because then they have to give concessions to you since you cannot be reasoned with. Works especially better if your party's in power. Anyway, we'll get into this list in a second. I do love this though. This is fucking awesome. This is I'll posterize this. But, yeah, a Fox News correspondent did talk about killing homeless people, but that's just normal Fox News stuff, you know? That's just Fox News things. Okay. Where was I? Oh, we were going to talk about the stupids. The age of stupids is upon us. Okay, the age of stupids is upon us. And I was talking about how I was, like, tanking the aggro for this dumb fuck video. Made by a very obvious grifter by the name of Nick Shirley, who is genuinely too stupid to make a convincing case, but because of how stupid everyone has become, being stupid while you're making propaganda, slopaganda specifically, is a superpower, okay? It has gotten to a point where it is quite literally a fucking superpower to be dumber than a bag of rocks. Now, while when I first came out of the gate swinging with my commentary, criticizing this coverage, saying this is pretty insane, I cannot believe how much people are leaning into this shit, how much people are falling for this incredibly dumb propaganda, right? Where the fuck is the Jack Mack video? Someone send it to me, please. If you can find it. A lot of people were very upset. And immediately said, oh my God, it's clear that you are defending Somalis doing fraud. You love when Somalis do fraud, blah, blah, blah. Okay? That wasn't the case at all. That's never something that I said. It's never something that I not something that I believe. Doesn't really fucking matter, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna have to be explaining that this was fake to my extended family for years. No, the worst part, the other part about it is that it's not entirely fucking fake.
Takeaways from Nick Shirley uncovering the alleged fraud.
No, this isn't even his video. I wasn't even talking about this. I was talking about the other video that he made, where he was he posted a TikTok of like me and Nick Shirley going back and forth. I'm suspicious it's entirely organic, but partially because social media companies have gotten insane at manipulating their users. I think this was a testing ground. Okay? This was a test. How fast can we whip up people into a frenzy, into a panic? How fast can we get them to pay attention to something that has elements of truth in it, right? Has elements of truth, because there is real fraud that has taken place. It's just, how can we extend it to an entire racialized minority, one that actually suits the purpose, like maybe geopolitical interests of a foreign country that we are in line with, in this case Israel, with Somalia, right? With Somaliland. Israel's the first country that recognized Somaliland. Day after that comes out, all of these influencers that have gone to Israel, all of these pro-Israel, pro-MAGA influencers that were, not really talking about the Epstein cover-up at all for the last week, even though it was the biggest fucking news story of the day, turn around and start investigating the fraud that all Somalis are conducting in Minneapolis. This has been an ongoing investigation for the past fucking, 3 years now? It's ridiculous. Where the fuck did this come from? Where did it come from? Okay? And my take on it was very cool that every pro-Israel MAGA content creator is rushing to see children at daycares around the country after a week of Trump's DOJ playing defense for Epstein's co-conspirators. Normal country. Okay? Now, obviously, the main goal here, this is a convergence of a lot of different interests, okay? This is a convergence of a lot of different interests. Obviously, finding a new racial minority to fucking dunk on from the perspective of, fomenting anti-immigrant sentiment is fantastic for Donald Trump. He did it during the election cycle against the Haitians when he said that, Haitians were eating cats and dogs, obviously, so that's always going to work. Obviously, this has also been a story that the Republicans have been using pretty aggressively. Republicans have been using this pretty aggressively against... Oh, yeah, here it is. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Republicans have been using this story already against the Democrat Farmer Labor Party in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, for quite a while now. They are using this against Tim Walz. Obviously, they want to take out a bunch of Democrats from their positions of power in the state by tying them all to real existing fraud that took place and utilizing the investigations and the convictions and the charges that came after the real existing fraud that took place with not so real information, right? Like they're taking unsubstantiated and oftentimes racialized agitative propaganda and running with it and trying to do this to tie it back to the Democrats. And the reality of the matter is, and I'm going to give you something, I'm going to tell you something that you might not enjoy here. There might be ties to some Democrats in the fucking state. That's the craziest part about this story. There's truth to some of these. There's truth to some of these fucking incredible, the incredibly weaponized statements. Okay? There's truth. It's just not where you think it is. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I will say this much. It's not a person that I particularly appreciate or enjoy. Former mayor, now current mayor as well, Jacob Frey, was in some ways tied back to in some ways, ironically enough, tied back to the white lady who was responsible for the initial Feeding Our Children charity fraud. And he was protected. He was protected by Tim Walz. So even Tim Walz might have some kind of connection to it, potentially. We don't know. In any case, although there are suspicions of this sort, none of those things are being thoroughly investigated by the likes of Nick Shirley. And now we have even more information, okay? Now we have even more information on it. Minnesota Public Radio reports that the Republican caucus was behind steering Nick Shirley to the daycares and shaping the narrative, and local outlets had reported about more than 62 investigations of the child care centers and covered it for years. Okay? The YouTuber claims he's uncovering new fraud. There are ongoing investigations, and by the way, some of these investigations are simply licensing investigations, and investigations into whether or not these daycare facilities are up to date, up to standard. Clearly, many of them weren't, as we saw. Not because of Nick Shirley's video, of course, but because we actually looked at the Department of Human Services in the state and their actual investigations into renewing or potentially revoking the license of some of these facilities. Okay? Now, of course, the licensing thing happens every year at a random time. That's normal. So that's not really a gotcha. But in any case, the reality of the matter is the story was completely fucking, the story was completely propagandized from the start, and it featured no real information. And yet, for some reason, when I brought that up, everybody fucking yelled at me, and everybody did victory laps about it, saying, oh, Hassan is like defending Somali fraud or some shit. No, I'm defending investigative reporting. I'm not defending fraud at all, and I'm actually frustrated at the fact that sloppy hit jobs such as this one unironically interfere with good investigation, okay? With real investigations into real fraud.
Nick Shirley's reporting in Minnesota. Hassan and him have been going back and forth on Twitter. A matchup of the ages to end 2025. Hassan tweeted yesterday at 11 a.m. I don't know what kind of fraud Somalis in daycares are doing, but I think it's a separate crime to try and storm with a camera into a daycare with kids in it. Shirley responded by saying, haha, you would say something stupid like this. Nick won the ratio off here by almost an order of 5 to 1.
Oh, dude, I can't believe on the Hitler website he got way more likes. I guess that means I was wrong. Shit, dude, my bad.
Hassan then quote tweeted himself saying, bleak future of all media with this photo. I think that's from a movie. That's Jake Gyllenhaal, I believe. Vigilante content that can be weaponized for radicalized / white nativist agitprop. I don't know. I'm sorry if I said that word around agitprop. Everyone's gonna behave like the fake pedo hunters. On top of responding to Hassan's original tweet, Nick quote tweeted him saying, people like this commie literally shock their dogs and complain about America 24/7, and when someone actually leaves their room to do something, wait for it, they then defend the criminals. Hassan responded by saying, I traveled around the world and went to numerous protests, but since I wasn't trying to storm child care facilities with a camera crew screaming, show me the children now, it doesn't count. There's a proper way to conduct a thorough investigation, and you botched it for clickbait. Hassan also quote tweeted a tweet involving Nick Shirley when he met with the mayor of Gaza and said he made the most Israel.
No disrespect, but this story is less exciting than watching paint dry day 3 of a story everyone will forget as soon as anything else happens. Yes, you're not actually brilliant or above it all when you say dumb fucking shit like this. In this media cycle, of course, things are going to be forgotten like that. The problem here is that this is a major propaganda moment, and if you are too stupid to recognize that the administration will consistently weaponize this in 2026, you need to dial it the fuck back, okay? And really reconsider why I'm trying to hammer this to the best of my ability, okay? This was a moment where there was a convergence of interest, and a bunch of slopaganda right-wingers came out of the gate swinging. Narratives blew the fuck up, and it led to the administration shutting off funding to all child care facilities in the state of fucking Minnesota. Stop saying it's just an Epstein distraction, okay? It's beyond more than just an Epstein distraction. God damn it, dude. I don't want to fucking pull this card on you, but it is awfully suspicious anytime we talk about like black people being victimized en masse. Every motherfucker has different opinions on it. They're like, come on, dude. Enough. It's just a distraction, bro. Let them fucking storm daycare facilities all around the country where there are, you know, Somali people or black people running daycare centers. Come on, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't even like it when people complain about what I choose to cover, whether it's like phase or whatever the fuck, but this is beyond the pale. This is a huge fucking story. It is directly at the intersection of social media narratives being able to change people's real life conditions, okay? Sean the Black raid. Hey, Sean, thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good one. Yeah, HHS is now stopping all child care payments to all states until they prove funds are being spent legitimately. This is, once again, like I said, at the intersection of the right-wing administration that has been desperately looking for an opportunity to cut any kind of fucking social safety nets they can, using this as an opportunity to do that. Get out of your chair seems more like a criticism for Asmongold. I know. It's weird that people keep saying that to me when I literally traveled around the fucking planet this year. I know it doesn't matter because dumb fucks with no object permanence don't realize that because they're like, well, every clip I see of you, you're sitting in a chair. I know. You're stupid. It's okay.
Video demanding to see children in all these facilities, and when they wouldn't let them in, that was enough evidence of fraud. There was, of course, going to be criticism of Nick Shirley's video that he posted on Friday night. The main criticism is that he was trying to storm into a daycare, which is fine, but the video is 42 minutes long. It's not just the daycare.
Yeah, the other side, the second half of the video is even dumber. The second half of the video is even dumber than this. Because the second half of the video, he goes to a healthcare plaza, a medical plaza, which is a normal concept that exists in America. It's in basically every fucking town. A medical plaza is the plaza that I go to when, you know, because my dentist is in a fucking medical plaza, right? If you've ever gotten tests done, you've probably gone to a medical plaza at some point. It's not a hospital. Not every healthcare facility is literally a fucking hospital. Anyway, it is crazy though. That's the point. They manufacture stupid discourse and make you give up trying to reason and do discourse. They try to desensitize us to the issues. Part of it is just convincing the opposition, us, that the supporters of the admin are too dumb to reason with. Yes, but I am too fucking stubborn to give up on it. And I know that many of these people in my chat as well get frustrated and they go, Hassan, this is too stupid. These people cannot be reasoned with. Why the fuck are you worrying about this? Why the fuck are you trying to, consistently push back on this shit? If I don't do it, who the fuck's gonna do it? Someone has to do it. Someone has to tank the damage. Someone has to be the fucking first guy to come out and be like, nope, this is not true. Okay? If we wait for CBS News and CNN to fucking send their journalists out there, it's not gonna, you're gonna have to wait like 3-4 days. This kind of shit needs to be called out by fucking adults, okay? I'll tank it every time. I know that for years and years, I've been a thorn on the side of many people that want to do fucked up shit, whether it be, promote gambling to a young audience and get millions and millions of dollars in sponsorships to do so. And I say, oh, that sucks. And then people go, fuck you, you're a piece of shit, and you're a snake, you're a phony, you're a shark, I hate you. And then the audience carries over that resentment, even if they inevitably come to that same conclusion years down the line. It doesn't matter. I'll keep eating that shit, okay? Someone has to. Someone's got to fucking do it.
Wager that I don't think Hassan has watched it in full. Same with a lot of the people that have been criticizing it.
I did watch it, as a matter of fact.
Other criticism has been that it was filmed over Christmas break, which Somalians are typically Muslim, not...
That's not one of my criticisms at all. And it wasn't filmed over Christmas break. It was before. It was during the holidays, and it doesn't even matter. This is not a kindergarten. It's a child care facility.
Catholic or Christian, so they may not be taking Christmas break, but let's say it was a state-mandated thing. We can see in the video that Nick was there during a...
Oh, he asked one random guy. I guess that's it then. This is good. He asked a random guy on the street whether he's seen children there or not. Again, my criticism from the start, top to bottom, has been that this is not real journalism. This is not real reporting. And it's very frustrating that a lot of people looked at this and got fucking duped and thought, well, I'm convinced. We're fucked.
3rd,
okay?
Which would be 2 days before Christmas, or Tuesday, December 16th. You can look up historical weather. Tuesday, December 23rd, it did not get above 32 degrees. But on Tuesday, December 16th, you can see it got just above 40 degrees during the afternoon, around 42. So we can assume this was December 16th, 9 days before Christmas. This will continue on, I'm sure. Now, Nick should be careful, just like Hassan has to be. Not because Hassan is going to injure Nick, more so because of the fact that there's a lot of crazies out there. And
Yeah, no, I know. It's just tough to fucking, say the truth. You get killed out there for that kind of thing, obviously. Absolute crushing pathos here as James O'Keefe tries to get it on with weapons grade lameness. If I'm James O'Keefe, I'm so pissed. If I am James motherfucking Keefe, I'm so mad because for years and years he did this, but he actually put a lot of fucking thought and effort into making better propaganda, at least. And this guy unironically comes in and doesn't even try to find a source, get them drunk in a bar with a fucking hidden camera and ask them questions and then deceptively edit the footage. He didn't do none of that shit. No hidden cameras, no fucking op, no inside guy, nothing. James O'Keefe was doing this and had standardized the Project Veritas concept for years and years, only for a much dumber version of that to come in and totally sweep away the market. This is even worse than Tyler Oliveira's commentary on shit. That's how bad it is. Tyler Oliveira will go and he'll also work with a right-wing local dipshit, right? But even Tyler Oliveira works to make a more convincing right-wing slop. And it turns out the dumber your fucking argument is, the more people believe it. It turns out the dumber the argument is, the more effective it is. I cannot believe it. If we're ranking different versions of right-wing propaganda, okay? Here, I'll pull up Paint for this one, okay? Just, every now and then we got to use the fucking Paint application here, okay? If we're doing right-wing slopaganda, okay? You got up here, you have Fox News digital team, right? They have the most Fox News D. They have more interest in making it seem like they're a reliable news outlet, making it seem as though they have an interest in at least accurate reporting, even though it is heavily biased, okay? It's biased, but it at the very least, regardless of being biased, we'll still have real evidence, okay? Biased, but real evidence. They'll omit certain things, but they'll at least have real evidence in it. Then a step below that is Project Veritas with James O'Keefe. They have done a bunch of work. You guys have seen around the Epstein stuff. Project Veritas is one step below. Incredibly biased. Doesn't have real evidence in it. They will obviously chop things deceptively. They'll edit things deceptively. They'll liquor up people, but at least it has sources, right? So they'll find people who they claim are sources, insiders, right? They have sources. They have people who work inside the facility that they will go and ask questions to, right? They'll greatly overextend the influence and power that a source holds. They'll go to a fucking secretary of the assistant of the assistant to the deputy of whatever the fuck, and they'll make it seem like that person is actually the most in the know person of all time. Then they'll also get him to talk shit. Then they'll cut stuff out of context, and they'll make it seem like they're they'll get their message across that way. Okay? Now that is obviously more popular than Fox News, right? So the more, if this is the credibility, if this is the credibility axis, okay? This is the more credible versus less credible, right? The less credible it gets, the less credible the news source gets, the more popular it gets. So we don't even need to do an XY. Okay? There's no reason to do an even XY here, because the reality is the more credible something gets, the less popular it gets. The less credible something gets, the less work and effort is put into it. Okay? The less credible something gets, the less work and effort is put into it, the more popular it gets. Okay? Effort, less effort. I can't even fucking write. I don't even know why I chose to do this with paint, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay? Can you just make? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'll use it. I'll use a bigger brush here. Okay? And then last but not least, less popular, more popular. Okay? There's a textbook option. I don't care. Shut up. Now we move down from Project Veritas to Tyler Oliveira. Okay? Now we get to a part of the internet where you can at least like seem like you're apolitical, even though you're a right-wing slop merchant, right? You're a right-wing propagandist, you're a slop merchant, but you at the very least can present yourself as apolitical. And not only can you present yourself as apolitical, but you also have less interest in getting sources. You have less interest in cutting deceptive editing. You can do deceptive editing. Now you have also more flair and more drama. More drama, getting into a fight with like a homeless person or some shit like that, and more flair. At the bottom of this barrel is Nick Shirley, okay? At the bottom of this pile is Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley literally has all of the worst elements of Tyler Oliveira. He has none of the effort that he puts in, okay? None of the effort whatsoever. Barely any fucking sources, just running around with a camera and demanding to see children, something that is objectively supposed to be, an illegal act, just harassing random daycare facilities, shit like that, okay? Unfortunately, as we have seen time and time again, and specifically this year, I think this story in and of itself perfectly proves this. The less credible you are and the less effort that you put into your right-wing slop merchantry, the more popular your video gets and the more it drives discourse. And then what people will do, and this is another dumb guy thing that I have noticed, the more popular it is, the more legitimate it is. A lot of stupid people will mistake popularity for veracity, okay? People genuinely have this attitude where I've seen it over and over again. They're like, oh, well, this video got 1 million views. This video got 100 million views. How many views have you gotten in your videos? It's like, yeah, okay. ProPublica is one of the last remaining incredible outlets for investigative reporting. Just because they don't drive clicks doesn't mean that they're not doing valid fucking work. It is ridiculous. Okay? It is fucking ridiculous. Right-wing slop merchants. The more outrage you bake in, the more fucking, the less interest you have in finding evidence, even if that evidence was supposed to help your argument, okay? And the more eyeballs you get, the more people go, well, this guy's obviously right. And the reason why we have this dynamic, unfortunately, is because we're getting dumber and dumber every single fucking day, okay? Jack Smith, full video out. What's Jack Smith? The work is only valid if you sell ads. It's not even about selling ads. It's about how many fucking eyeballs you get. And it doesn't even matter if you bought it, okay? You can bot the fuck out of your eyeballs, but from the outsider's perspective, the more eyeballs something has, the more real it is, the more true it is, okay? whoever yells loudest, whoever is first to market and whoever yells loudest is winning, is going to get the biggest amount of attention, and therefore they are going to be the most correct. This is what happens when there is no consensus reality, okay? Unfortunately, when there's no consensus reality, everything falls apart. And that's where we're at. This is the meta. This is the unfortunate reality of the media landscape that we exist in.
There is a principle where someone repeats a falsehood enough and it becomes familiar and people think it's but no, like, no matter how many fucking times you say the sky is green, unless it's like the Northern Lights, the sky is never green. Or like a certain kind of storm system. It's like never green. It doesn't matter how loud you yell it. It doesn't matter if you're the only one that can talk. It's not green. You're just wrong. Or the sky is frogs. Isn't even better because it's like, unless you're talking about a tornado situation, the sky is never frogs. The sky is panda bears. Yeah, whatever, like. And, you know, he'll say, if you repeat something enough, it becomes true. People might think it's true, but it's still not actually scientifically true. That you're just living in a lie. Hopefully a future generation will say something.
He's going to throw another grenade, similar to this one. And then the right-wing slop merchants will storm whichever area of interest exists, like a bunch of fucking piranhas, and you know, the story will be whatever the fuck they want you to pay attention to. Okay? This is it. Yeah, lowest tier slopaganda gets the goods. It has the most effective results. The Trump admin cutting off all child care funding during cost of living crisis because the January 6th insurrectionist cameraman made a completely fake, debunked YouTube video of himself going to daycares outside of their business hours. And there are still people going, when was it debunked and by whom? Got receipts? Over and over and over again. And that's what's so crazy about it, because unfortunately, this kind of dumb propaganda does work on a lot of people. Okay? That's what it is. And that's where we're at. How do you combat it? It seems practically impossible. The confirmation bias of the average American seems to be that black and brown people are evil. No, I don't even think that this is just because there's like, you know, black and brown people. That plays a role in it for sure. White supremacy plays a major role in it. Absolutely. Okay? It's much easier to craft a narrative such as this one against like a minority group, for sure. It's a big factor. Because if this was a bunch of like white liberals in a blue city or something, that would still bang. Like that video would still do numbers, especially if it ties back to a real instance of fraud. Okay? This has many different factors at play. There were so many different convergence of factors here that made this story as explosive as it is. And it's not just like Elon Musk base boosting this shit on the platform Twitter, and then you know, making it virtually impossible not to discuss this and driving discourse for the last couple of days. Okay? That is one factor, however. But there are multiple reasons as to why this was so explosive. But if you think that those with genuine power in this administration are not taking notice of this, you are delusional. This is going to happen over and over again. I don't know what the next thing will be, okay? I don't know what the next thing will be, but it's coming. Going forward, you'll see it a lot more frequently. Whenever you know, there's something going on that looks bad for Donald Trump, they will foment hatred towards one group, and they will storm it. Like they'll send their fucking nuisance streamers and all these other fucking freaks and losers to do bottom of the barrel slopaganda, and a lot of people are so primed to believe that shit that they will be endlessly distracted by this stuff. People who are talking about the Epstein files not only a day prior to this have now locked in and laser focused on this and are talking about how all Somalis are running fraudulent daycares all around the country. This is a mass epidemic. They all, boom, inserted the new chip. You included. If you cannot comprehend the broader point that I'm making here, that isn't just about this story, I don't know what to tell you. Okay? This is now media analysis over effective propaganda. Do you understand? Effective propaganda that is going to come back and be a problem over and over and over again. Things are getting dumber and dumber. Yeah, here's a flashback from the background of Nick Shirley and other nuisance streamers such as this one. Per Reuters, Nick Shirley, the guy behind the Minnesota daycare fraud video, once paid Hispanic day laborers he recruited at Home Depot $20 to hold pro-Biden signs in front of the White House to gin up fears of an invasion, right? Half a dozen Hispanic day laborers were paid $20 each to parade in front of the White House on camera holding signs with slogans like, "I love Biden, I need a work permit for my family." The stunt was orchestrated by Nick Shirley, a pro-Trump online influencer who often asks migrants on camera if they support the Democratic President Joe Biden or think he made it easier for them to come to the U.S. "We want to take you to the White House," Shirley told men he recruited at a Home Depot parking lot, where day laborers typically wait for jobs. In a video later posted to YouTube, "What Biden did for migrants is very kind, right? Letting everyone come in. So we are going to show him and say thank you." Shirley, a 22-year-old with more than 318,000 followers on social media, is among the new class of influencers supportive of the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, who are helping shape the immigration debate as the U.S. election campaign heats up. This guy is a Mormon whose mom drives him around still to this fucking day. Okay. Was at January 6th, and he's been at the scene of every single right-wing cultural touch point, making slopaganda like this, and now one of them hit big. Okay? It's going to happen. It's going to happen over and over again. You guys think this shit is irrelevant. It pisses you off that people are stupid. It pisses you off that someone who is genuinely mentally inept is capable of having this much reach and is capable of getting the government to basically use this dog shit reporting and manufactured hysteria to cut funds to all child care facilities in every fucking state. Someone who is fucking illiterate is capable of doing that. Yeah, I get that it fucking offends you. It offends your sensibilities. You find yourself to be much smarter than this, but it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, if slop is king, we have to fucking do it. We have to cover it. Okay? It upset me reading comments on an IG clip. Yes. Don't ever do that, honestly. It is so much worse. It is so much worse than you think. There are people that will shock you, okay? People that you think, frat boy politics, no offense. Oh my fucking Lord. I know, you're so brilliant. You're so smart. You're such an academic. You're an intellectual. Everyone is praising you in the chat right now for how big your fucking brain is. Except, it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter if it's dumb politics. But dumb politics is now ruling the land. Because unfortunately, the land is comprised of dummies. This is going to hurt MAGA folks too, because they need to have their kids watched and they're poor. I know. But this is how it's always worked historically. Historically, in the United States of America, white Republicans have always gotten on board with cutting welfare initiatives and cutting social safety nets that they rely on because they think black people are stealing it. That's where the welfare queen strategy comes from. They're gutting entitlements programs, they're gutting welfare because, and you know, people who rely on this stuff, disability and the like, are championing the gutting of welfare because in their minds they're perceiving people who are not worthy, people who are not deserving of this social safety nets, taking advantage of it, okay? Or even engaging in fraud. You cannot think you're above this. You cannot just simply say these guys are stupid and fucking move on, okay? You cannot just say, oh, I don't want to touch this. This is too dumb. You have to pull people out of this stupor, okay? You have to, or else we're fucked.
It looks like it's happening.
There he is. Ooh,
It took,
ooh, that is a good one.
in this
Right
media
there.
environment
Yeah, look at that.
where
Oh, it's
things
upside
move
down.
rapidly, things
Oh,
go
it is
viral
good.
instantly.
And it's just a shadow.
Mainstream reporters move far too slow, okay? And especially when there's not a lot of interest in stories like this, because they're like, who gives a fuck about this shit, man? I don't understand. Why are you even covering this? If that's your attitude, you're gonna lose. If that's your attitude, you're gonna let the dummies dominate discourse, dominate the narrative, okay? Donald Trump is president for a reason. We have to fight back. Anyway, here is one example of the stupidity of Nick Shirley's video.
Check of your top stories this morning. We're following major developments in Minnesota's fraud crisis, specifically related to childcare. Here's the latest.
We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says it's freezing.
If you want this YouTube quality, it's the second video on the playlist. Okay, sure, I'll go into it. Yeah,
Check
here.
of your top stories this morning. We're following major developments in Minnesota's fraud crisis, specifically related to childcare. Here's the latest.
We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says it's freezing.
The next meta in this, for the record, is going to be finding any sort of issues with any number of different daycares, as long as it's like operated by a Somali person, and then hammering that on as though that was the major point, as though that was the real argument that they were conducting. So get ready for that as well. They're too stupid to recognize that there was already one daycare facility that was operated by one of the fucking one of the defendants in the previous investigation that had taken place. They're too stupid to know that one daycare facility was actually closed. Once they figure that out, they're going to be like, well, see, there's the proof. Again, their lack of interest or their lack of knowledge, but the overarching lack of knowledge on this stuff, the overarching lack of interest and lack of knowledge on pre-existing investigations that have been conducted into it is how these guys get to make this seem like it's a totally new story and also simultaneously expand on the targets.
Childcare funds for Minnesota after a YouTuber claimed to uncover fraudulent centers in a viral video. The state gets about $185 million in federal funds each year. The HHS deputy secretary says he's demanded Minnesota Governor Tim Walz audit the centers featured in that video. The governor responded on X, saying, quote, "This is Trump's long game. We've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along. He's politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans."
Some of the featured child care centers are now firing back. This one says footage from their security cameras proves kids were...
Why is the daycare not open on a Sunday? Seems strange. You don't find that suspicious? Wait, what? You're joking, right?
Present when
I know it's already happening. I saw. I have the Cam
White
Higby
went there
link.
to
I
take a
know. That's
closer
another
look.
pro-Israel. That's another fucking Israel op.
This is ABC Learning Center in Minneapolis.
They have to learn ABC and numbers.
Director Ahmed Hassan gave WCCO a tour after finding his daycare in the national spotlight.
All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning.
Yeah, they also show security cam footage. Hold on. Here,
This
look.
has been his plan all along.
Sorry.
Child care centers are now firing back. This one says footage from their security cameras proves kids were present when the YouTuber stopped by.
Like, can you imagine? Like, I cannot believe that this is what it's gotten down to, where they have to be like, see, there's children. The fuck are you talking about? Here's our security footage. That's insane. That is insane. Again, because they don't have fucking object permanence, because people don't have object permanence, this is not going to be enough, because they're going to be like, oh, sure, bud. Well, I didn't see the entire security footage. I need to see the faces of every child that has walked in. I need to know what kind of finger painting initiatives they engaged with. I need to know what kind of chicken nuggets they had. Was the middle of the chicken nugget cold? Was it too hot? I need to know all of it. Otherwise, I will not believe you. And it goes back to the dumbest guy you know saying, well, did you see it literally with your own two eyes? How can you believe anything if you don't personally experience it? That is where we're at. It's not even about going back to the drawing board and explaining to people like how investigations are conducted and how court proceedings take place, how people get charged with a crime, people get arrested in the process. Like, it's beyond that. You need to explain to people, like, you need to start explaining to people, unfortunately, that sometimes you can rely on information from trusted sources, right? Like a book, for example. You can read something. You don't have to like directly observe everything to believe that it actually happened, okay? That's not how information works. That's not how learning works. If we didn't do this, right? If the only stuff that we could believe was things that we observed with our own two eyes, then there would be no thousands of years of knowledge that we're relying on in order to expand on pre-existing technological improvements, for example. That's just not how this would work.
Connor White went there to take a closer look.
You want to make ready for kindergarten.
This is ABC Learning Center in Minneapolis.
They have to learn ABC and numbers.
Director Ahmed Hassan gave WCCO a tour after finding his daycare in the national spotlight.
All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center.
In a now viral video, right-wing YouTuber Nick Shirley claims nearly a dozen daycare centers in Minnesota are taking public funds but not providing a service. He says ABC Learning Center is one of them, knocking on the door in mid-December.
I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Hassan says his employee didn't respond because Shirley was in a group of about 8 people, and his staff were concerned about recent ICE activity.
Is this daycare committing fraud?
No, we're not committing fraud.
Hassan showed us security footage from the same day Shirley was here. According to the timestamp...
Oh, wow. Just as I fucking called. And I'm not a particularly brilliant person, okay? I'm not. I just have common fucking sense. And unfortunately, it's not so fucking common anymore. This is what I said. Why the fuck would anybody open the door to a goddamn group of people with cameras in tow? Being like, oh, I want to sign up my son Joey. He's not here right now. You don't have to be genius to figure out how stupid this narrative was.
In the videos, this woman takes a young child into the center at around 9 a.m. that day, about 3 hours before Shirley arrives at the door closer to the street. Within the hour after Shirley leaves, a woman arrives at the other door with a stroller. A larger family heads inside a few hours later. Tuesday afternoon, WCCO found at least a dozen children at ABC Learning Center, which is licensed with the state. Records show Minnesota officials last visited the daycare in November, noting some corrected and ongoing violations related.
Yeah, this is the reason why I said this is a filter, okay? This video was a fucking filter. Straight up. That dog better not move or you're gonna go Ewas on her. Brother, in a situation where we're just talking about filters, you've proven once again that you are an easily tricked adult, okay? Speaking of filters, there it is.
To day-to-day operations, but no record of fraud.
What did I do?
I'm just a typical human being who wants to live and do the right thing. I have kids to feed.
Umi Hassan, the daycare's current owner, believes these latest fraud accusations are political. Both she and Hassan are Somali Americans.
We pay our taxes. We do whatever we can to be a law-abiding citizen. At the same time, when one Somali does something wrong, we all get collective punishment.
With Shirley's video now...
Bro, I cannot... The other thing is, like, I don't... Like, how do people not even realize that this is bad from, like, a national security perspective, for example? Like, how... Like, no one seems to care. Everyone is so proud of how fucking stupid they've become. There's this, like, shared comfort with the collective knowledge that, like, the guy next to you is just as dumb as you are, so it doesn't really matter. There's no reason to apply any sort of skepticism, any sort of fucking scrutiny, you know? How the fuck are there so many people consistently up your ass over that dog shit? I see it in a completely unrelated post. Brother, it's because my haters aren't fucking normal. They lose their minds. They literally carry that over to every fucking platform. You need to understand. It's like it's unlike anything I've ever seen. It's like I personally went to their house and, like, fucked all their moms or something and, like, killed their loved ones. When someone decides they despise me, they don't just go, yeah, I don't like this guy, I don't fuck with him, and move on with their life. They literally go, anywhere I see this person, even in unrelated places, even in areas where it's not even relevant to the conversation, I will constantly carry this resentment. Some of these people have more of a derangement syndrome than even, like, liberals do with Donald Trump. It's one of the more intense, it's one of the more insane things I've ever encountered. It is not something I can do. We got to stay on subject. Let's just continue.
Now approaching 2.3 million views on YouTube alone, they say they are getting non-stop phone calls harassing them.
I was looking for a place for my granddaughter.
With many of those calls attached to out-of-state phone numbers.
They normally say, knock, knock, we're gonna come. You're gonna arrest, something like that.
Connor White, WCCO News.
Hassan there says they turned over attendance records to comply with the Department of Homeland Security request, and they're now waiting to hear back. CBS News is reviewing records related to the same daycares. All but 2 have active licenses.
And while the active places have violations related to safety or staff training, there is no recorded evidence of fraud. Another facility highlighted in the YouTube video was Quality Learning Center. The people operating it would not speak with us, but we did talk to a mother dropping off her kids.
I take my kids here, 2 o'clock.
I'll say it like this. Out of all the facilities they went to, the only one that I'm a little bit sus on is this one, the Quality Learning Center. People say staged. I don't think it is, but there are inconsistencies with the Quality Learning Center. No disrespect if they're running a clean operation. I apologize, and it's not because of the name of the fucking signage. I don't care about that. But there is something that doesn't add up with that because of the inconsistencies with what the state has said about that place being not an operation. It's about the place not being in operation, but the place is, as a matter of fact, very clearly in operation. So that was the one, that was the thing that I didn't understand, especially because, like, it received the most citations as well. It received the most citations out of all of the other daycare facilities. I'm not validating the conspiracy theories. I'm just exercising healthy skepticism, okay? Exercising healthy skepticism and healthy scrutiny, okay? That's it. I don't have any evidence that this place is actually fraudulent, and it's certainly not fraudulent in the way that Nick Shitley was claiming it was.
To 10. Yeah, there's a lot of kids inside.
We spoke with another woman who says she owns the building that houses the daycare. She says they've been operating there since 2017.
And these allegations of fraud are having real-life consequences. Take a look. This child care facility says it's dealing with the fallout of fraud allegations. The Nokomis Daycare Center in Minneapolis says vandals did extensive damage there overnight yesterday. They believe divisive and hateful rhetoric toward the Somali community is to blame. We're expecting to learn more details later today.
Federal agents are conducting a, quote, massive operation in Minneapolis right now. The Department of Homeland Security has posted these videos of agents going door to door at suspected fraud sites. The daycare investigation represents a new front in Minnesota's fraud fight. More than 50 people have been convicted so far in the $250 million COVID-era scheme involving Feeding Our Future. Prosecutors believe fraud in 14 state Medicaid service programs.
I think the other side of the story, once again, that is perfectly valid to address is that this is not a Somali-only issue, obviously. Even this, the initial fraud investigation that was conducted was run by a white woman. Nobody ever talks about her, ironically enough. Like, the person who cooked up the scheme is literally a white lady, okay? The one who's going to prison, like the top dog, is a white lady. Odd that rarely ever gets mentioned in the coverage, okay? Her name is Amy Bach, and not only is she the white lady who cooked up the scheme, she's also connected to the current mayor, Jacob Frey. So there is actually a connection. There is actually a connection with the existing Democrats in charge, but a lot of people are too fucking racist and too predisposed with talking about how this is a Somali scheme that they haven't even done the proper research connecting people to one another. Also, none of it is recent. Yeah, Barry CBS 2. Amy Bach, founder and executive director of the Minnesota nonprofit Feeding Our Future, was identified by federal prosecutors as a central organizer of a massive COVID-era fraud involving approximately $250 million in federal child nutrition fund. No mention of the ringleader in this article. I wonder why, Barry Weiss. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, Amy Bach and Salim Saeed took advantage of the COVID-19 pandemic to carry out a massive fraud scheme that stole money meant to feed children. This is disgusting, and I'm glad that these people got their day in court, and I'm glad that they're going to prison, okay? Make no fucking mistake. It don't matter to me whether they're Somali or white. Fraud is fucking fraud. You understand? Especially when it comes to welfare fraud such as this one, which is the most disgusting because these are funds that are supposed to feed children. You're using money that is allocated to feed children to buy yourself nice cars. You're a fucking asshole. One of the reasons why I, say we got to become more Chinese right now, because I think we all know how this would have been conducted and concluded in China, okay? And yes, it would have extended to members of the party if there was enough evidence of their involvement as well.
Need to cut in. I'm getting really tired. I want to continue this project, going down the list and saving these. So eventually it'll be every single one that's on the list. I need to take a break. I'm frustrated that my video got blocked. Yeah, and it's still uploading for here, so what's the point? It's not suspicious at all that I played a CIA video during the thing and now it got blocked. Whatever. And yeah, honestly, I really cared about God damn it. What I really cared about was this realization that they were talking about 3D printing into resin and realizing it's just like nail polish. And that's like the biggest reason I wanted to save it. And I'm not sure if, like, I trim it out, if it's gonna cut right into that. It just, everything feels real. Yeah, I don't like, it's not a good feeling. That we're gonna go into 2026 and it's gonna be stupid. And that you should just expect it to be stupid. No. Everything's already been so fucking stupid.
9:55 in the morning, 30th of December 2025.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
That actually went well and good stuff.
Like, controversial to the rich, I guess. Left-wing conspiracy.
Modularity and some of the features are...
It again.
How fast everything should be moving.
Of shelters. Italian and French airspace en route to the U.S. All three nations are signatories to the Rome Statute.
And somebody shut off my motherfucking speaker. What the fuck is going on? Like someone is showing me their displeasure or something. Get the fuck out of my life. What, you want to watch Hassan Piker? Watch them on your phone. Get out of my room. No one invited you into my unit. Get the fuck away from me. Fucking psychotic. Fucking psychotic. Wait, that's what it feels like, if that's not what it is. Like, somebody shows up, they watch you watch Hassan. Why the fuck are you doing that? Get the fuck out of my room. How are you doing that? You have an illegal camera in my unit? If the motherfucker has tech that can shut your speaker off, they can watch him by themselves. It makes no fucking sense. You could watch my stream on Twitch that I'm like choosing to fucking like put out on Twitch. It makes no sense. They've got car and gasoline. So they have a phone. They can watch him themselves. If that's even what's going on, and that's wrong and psychotic. Like, that's fucking stupid. Stress you out so goddamn much you get a fucking aneurysm. Fuck you!
But we could probably make like let's say a 0.3 meter part in still probably like 3 or 4 minutes.
3 or 4 minutes?
Still fast, because once again, everywhere's...
What else is there to even know about the fucking story he's talking about? They just ruined these people's lives and made them, like, targets of shit, and then it wasn't even true. Apparently. What else do you need to fucking know anyway?
Getting the dosage at once. So no matter how big or small, everywhere in there is still getting the light dosage to start polymerizing.
This is amazing.
It's magic. I still can't believe. I mean, I've worked with this for like 2 or 3 years now, and I still can't believe it works.
Now, you're at UC Berkeley, right?
We're a research group out of UC Berkeley. We're a mechanical engineering lab. There's about 8 of us and more undergrads. This started with Professor Hayden Taylor. He's a really great guy. The first paper and kind of research with this came out in 2019, so it's a pretty new process too.
I would love to come by and see your lab.
Yeah, we do really fascinating stuff here. So the one we have today is just one aspect of what we do there. So this is actually almost like a space printer. We tested this in zero gravity. So like I mentioned before, the part has to be supported by viscous material, but what if you want to use low viscosity material? The one easy answer to that is to get rid of gravity, because you don't have any buoyancy effects. Things won't sink or float. So we actually tested this on the Vomit Comet, and this is one of the 3D prints we printed in 20 seconds on the Vomit Comet. And that's fascinating. As a space shuttle we made in zero gravity. But the cool thing about this is that this could only be made in zero gravity.
So you're sure? Okay, so this is a less viscous liquid.
This is like almost like the viscosity of water. So forget.
They put a goo inside of a jar, spin it around, and shine a light that hardens the goo into a certain shape. Which is cool. But, like, when you think of it that way, it made it way more simple. It is, the biggest reason I wanted to save this. Was just the realization that that's all it fucking is. 11/28. Curing nail polish, but rotating. Some idiot's been pumping some smell into my room all fucking day, too. So I'm supremely fucking I woke up to loud-ass motorcycle, stupid fucking burning smell, stupid fucking siren smell, and then fucking on and off. It's not, like, as much as it has been, but it's enough. And then, like, I'm not getting any response back from management about my neighbor fucking terrorizing me. They should immediately stop trying to fucking evict me. That's the right thing to do. And then it's like, they got their own fucking proof that she's been fucking with me. Again, because it's not the first fucking time. You can't just hijack my life. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Plates our printer. Like if this were to be theoretical, it like shines our dosage through it theoretically.
Dosage being?
Light. Dosage being light.
The amount of light, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we kind of see like roughly like what would be the dose distribution, how would our part form? And then we compare that to the original. And basically we can optimize that, comparing them back and forth, being like, oh, we need to adjust this a little bit, this a little bit.
Oh,
yes.
It's optimizing at that level.
If I was there in person, is this just the same as like using UV light to cure your nail polish, but it's rotating? And then it hardens inside of the case. Like, and I mean, you're just not explaining it that way. Is it? It's like gel manicures. Yeah. Where's a good example? Like a complicated design or something. I don't know. No. Maybe just go with that top.
Everybody, welcome back. I am the Natural Nail Guru, and today we're going to be talking about gel curing.
And it cures it on a, I don't want to say it's one-dimensional, I don't know, it's actually 2D, right? It's on a flat surface. Like, if you had a sculpture on your finger, no, not even that way. It's like if you, it's like if you could somehow put a glob of nail polish and then the light hardens it into, like, let's say a diamond shape, and then you pull it out and the part that isn't hardened just kind of washes off and the hardened part stays. That's, just to relate it to a different concept, that's all. I think that's kind of how it works. Jesus Christ. And then what? The other concept of, like, destroying cities as a construction project. I've said that before. A jar full of nail polish, and then by beaming the light on it in a certain way as it rotates, it creates a shape. I don't know if these are related concepts. It's just a way to, like, explain it different. Is axial lithography like curing nail polish but rotating? Yes. Light to solidify a liquid photopolymer material. You need more girls in science. That's it. It was just, and that I was, like, so overjoyed when it was like, oh my god, I'm right. I'm super fucking right. I could have done so much more with my fucking life. I'm so fucking right. The rest of this video had stuff about the CIA and different, that was violent image to land on. Yeah, I still want to save it. At least to the archive. But funny how it got blocked. I mean, I fell asleep for like 3 hours or something during his cast, so I don't even know what he said for like 3 hours. No, my life is absolutely being hijacked by somebody. And they shut my fucking speaker off. Why? Because I changed the channel to my own stream? That's psychotic! Fuck off! The future better find out who the fuck you idiots are. Now they got someone buzzing noise outside. Fuck all of this. Well, if somebody's paying somebody for something, then there's a way to trace it. There's money flowing somehow to keep this, whatever the fuck this is. They'll find out. What are you wasting my fucking life for? some future generation of people. You're just fucking like, whether you like it or not, you're just gonna be practice for them, just like you used me for practice for your own shit. Fucking bullshit. It's so pissing me off so much. It feels like I'm gonna have and I'm scared now to have a headache because I got that weird, like, rainbow blind spot thing yesterday. That's never happened before. So what, the motherfuckers are like killing me on top of it. Some asshole that just thinks shit is funny and they don't care about science and they don't care about how you feel and they don't care about anything but themselves. Well, I got up to Philip. I almost want to shut it off completely. Are you seriously like sitting around listening? How can you can't even fucking hear me? They can't hear me in my units. Unless there is some extra fucking camera like hidden in my goddamn window frame. That shouldn't be there. Anything you want to happen to me, have it happen to you. You wanted to hurt me? Get hurt. Just bounce right back onto them. I don't care who the fuck they are, what the fuck they thought they were doing. You're trying to fucking do fucked up shit to me, have it happen to them. Get the fuck off me. Sitting in here learning about every fucking possible demographic listed. It is weird that, like, there is no Irish, there is no Italian. That's, I mean, is it supposed to be trying to prove a point? Because, like I said, if in terms of, like, how you're raised growing up, you get this image of Europe, and every little country has their own little, their food and their clothing and their music and their language. And you kind of get this, like, perfect, almost like Disney level thing with, like, every little cute little... And it all got lumped into, like, Eastern or Western European. As if someone's trying to prove a point or something. Like, I was never so nationalistic that I'm a human. I am a human first... and I am a humanist, which is a kind of atheist. I'm a feminist. I'm a vegetarian. Like, what I really strongly identify with. You want me to be like a country? Like, what the fuck is that? It's annoying. That's what the fuck it is. And yeah, I just got this today. This is really the demographic survey from the Department of Human Services. I don't have to answer it or something, but, like, you know, it asks, again, your age, if you identify as having a disability, race or ethnic identity, and then gender and sexual orientation. And I think that is super relevant, but I'm not sure how I want it, like, in what ways that it's like, it feels weird that this is what you think is the most important shit to know about a person. There's not more questions about more things. There's not... It definitely doesn't ask if I identify as an atheist. Maybe it shouldn't. Maybe it shouldn't ask any of this shit. It is also the third fucking time I'm being asked. They ask on the application, they asked on the phone, and then they sent me this. And it's like, well, some people really care about identifying as things. That's fine. I'm not, like, ruining that for them. But, like, yeah, I, like, don't care in a way. Where have I lived most of my life? All of my life. No matter whatever my genetics are, as this is still scientifically interesting. But, like, I lived in Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and Oregon. I live in the United States. I spent 1 semester in the Czech Republic. Czechia. They haven't even updated it on this map. Yeah, a semester, 3 months. I've lived in the U.S. I'm from the U.S. Do you want to make it more specific? I've lived in Portland, Oregon longer than anywhere else I've ever fucking lived. And every single day, it's like someone's trying to make me say why I should stay here. Even if you count the years where I have no memory, that still adds up to what? 9 years in Massachusetts, 8 years in Pennsylvania, 4 years in upstate New York, and 13 going on 14 years in Portland. You've kept me in my fucking apartment for going on 6 years. Where am I from? My apartment? Well, it's in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, I can always watch more Hassan later. You know, the stream is going to be on his Twitch. I'll just watch it later. Fuck. Yeah, universal human rights or everyone is bullshit. See you later on New Year's Eve. Yeah, remember, it's fucking New Year's Eve. How about anyone stalking me having a good fucking time? Go do something with yourself, you loser. It's New Year's Eve. Go be in love with somebody. Go enjoy yourself. Do something fun and safe and cool that you want to talk about in 20 years. It's not like you have to keep it a secret because it was evil or something. Happy fucking New Year. Don't be stupid.